What is up, guys? Welcome back to Just a Guy on My Lunch Break. I hope all of you guys are enjoying your Wednesday, your hump day, as they call it, halfway through the week, as they say. Before I get started, if you've not subscribed to the channel and you've watched a couple of my videos and you're enjoying the content, your payment is simply hit that subscribe button. Outside of that, it's a free service and no payment on your part. So if you hit that subscribe button, you don't have to worry about it anymore, and then you can watch my content as much as you want until your little heart's content for the rest of our days, as long as the earth is spinning and as long as we are still walking around on top of this massive rock that is hurling through space at 60,000 miles per hour. Anyway, that's mind-blowing. When you think about the spaces and the distances out there in the cosmos and in space, and the fact that of all the billions of stars, when you look up in the night sky, you see all of these billions of stars, and to think out of all of those stars, the closest one to us, okay, is 4.5 light years away. And to the average brain, to our little pea-sized brains, we're like, oh, that ain't much. 4.5 light years, that ain't shit. Our brains literally can't conceive of that sort of distance. So to us, it's like, okay, 4.5 light years, so what? Well, let me put it to you in perspective like this. If an airliner passenger plane traveling at 600 miles per hour left Earth today, it would be a total of 76,000 years before it reached even our closest star. I mean, hell, you can't even really put it in perspective. What was going on 76,000 years ago? So consider this. The Toba eruption. It was an eruption of a super volcano roughly around 75,000 years ago, which created a bottleneck, basically, of the human population. And rough estimates say that the population of humans during that time, because of the significant climate change of this massive eruption, dramatically decreased down to some estimates saying 15,000 humans. 15,000. I mean, imagine that. There are, 10 billion, maybe more, on the planet as we speak. Imagine 15,000 people, right? So now let's imagine 75,000 years ago, when this happened, that all of the people that survived jumped on a bunch of passenger planes traveling at 650 miles per hour, flying through space. They've been traveling ever since the Toba super eruption 75,000 years ago, and they've not stopped one time. Generations have died off. They've had babies and more generations, and then they've had babies, and then new generations have had babies, and then new generations have died off and had babies, on and on and on and on and on and on for the last 75,000 years. And they've been traveling nonstop the whole time. They just now would be about a year out from reaching our closest star. Our closest star. That's the closest one. 76,000 years on a passenger plane. Now consider that our own galaxy, the Milky Way, is 100,000 light years across. Closest star, 4.5 light years. Our galaxy, 100,000 light years. And guess what? Our galaxy's not one of the bigger ones. Our galaxy is considered small to mid-size. 100,000 light years across. Can you do the math on? Okay, so if it took 76,000 years to travel 4.5 light years, how many years would it take to fly across the complete width of our galaxy at 100,000 light years? The human brain just can't even imagine it. Then consider there are millions and billions upon billions of miles of empty space and dark matter in between our galaxy and the closest one, Andromeda. So there are millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of miles just to get to the next galaxy, right? And then that galaxy is even bigger than our galaxy. Let's say 200,000 light years across. Some of the galaxies are 1 million light years, multiple millions of light years in diameter. And then millions and millions and millions upon billions of miles of empty space until you get to the next galaxy that is also bigger than what our little human brains can comprehend. It's just completely unimaginable. There are creatures that live miles down in the bottom of our oceans where it is completely dark that have developed self-illuminating abilities. They're swimming around down there in the dark, right? They literally have little bitty freaking light bulbs growing out of their heads. How does this happen? How does this happen? If you ever question a divine creator or a higher power, how does this happen? This doesn't happen by accident. It is way too complicated. How life biologically proceeds is way too complicated for it to happen by accident. It wouldn't happen by accident in billions and billions and billions of years. Oh wait, we can't comprehend billions of years, can we? Nope, sure can't. But it would not happen in billions and billions and billions of years. It would be more rare than winning a cosmic lottery. You would have a better chance of winning the $3 billion lottery that you always get your numbers for, and just keep your fingers crossed that some crazy miracle you're gonna win it, and you never do. You never do. Well, guess what? You have a better chance of winning that 20 times in your life. One person winning it 20 times than you do life on this planet happening by accident. There are plants that trick, eat, digest insects. These little plants called Venus flytraps. You've seen them. They open up like this, right? And they've got these little bitty hairs on the inside of them, right? And there's this little trick that they have that if something brushes against those hairs, if it does it one time, it doesn't close, it doesn't do anything. It just sits there. It just sits there. Why? Because it doesn't want to waste its energy on something that is not going to be edible and is not going to sustain it. So if the wind blows and some random leaf like flies across and, you know, brushes up against one of the hairs, it won't close. So if the hair gets touched one time, it does not close. If it gets touched twice, it closes. Why twice? Because if it happens twice, it's probably the movement of a small insect type creature that is crawling around on it trying to get its sweet nectar, right? Plants don't have brains. Plants don't have brains. How did this plant develop over the millions of years to be able to eat and digest an insect? Again, why am I saying all this? What does this have to do with kratom, bro? Well, it doesn't have a lot to do with kratom per se, but one of the worst things that can happen to people in life is for them not to know what their purpose is and to wonder if they have a purpose in life. This is especially true for men. And all I can say is if you can look at creation, and if you can look at and consider all of these things I've just said to you and fathom them, then literally you are the universe considering yourself. You are the universe contemplating yourself, because we're part of the universe. You know, we're made up of stardust. You know, study these things, look at these things, ponder these things, consider these things. Once you do, it will become so clear to you that there has to be a divine being. There has to be a divine being. Because if all of that I just described is out there and all of that has happened and that wasn't an accident, then you're not an accident. How could you be an accident? How could this creature that swims at the bottom of the ocean that developed a light on its noggin, how could a plant with no brain know how to eat and digest an insect by accident? It's not an accident. So you're not an accident. You want to improve in life? You have a purpose. You have a why. You have a reason to be your best you. And that's all I gotta say. It's just something I just thought of today. It just got put on my heart today. So anyway, I gotta go. I got to bounce. Good thing I'm just a guy on my lunch break, because I can talk about whatever the hell I want to on here. This is what it is. I'm just anyway. Hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you next time. Peace.